Hi folks, Gavin here again from Gsport Cars, and welcome back to another video blog here. Today I would just like to announce that some of you may have also seen the Facebook post there that Gsport is now a reseller for Plex Tuning products. So we have initially here in one of the products, and hopefully as time goes on I'll be able to do more reviews on the products and show you guys some of the functions and details. But for today, the first one we have is the Plex Tuning micro SDM display, which is this one here. This is a tiny little display, credit card sized. It's packed full of functionality though. Has plenty of functions and is completely user configurable. So this one has already been configured by the guys at Plex before it got shipped over to Gsport, and it's configured to run with a Link ECU in this case. These can be run with a whole range of different ECUs, so I've rigged this one up quickly just with a 12 volt supply, just so I can show you some of the menus and functions with this display. And they come pretty much as shown, and this is the CAN cable as well, which gets connected into the ECU and obviously already twisted and wound there for the CAN comms. So really simple, 12 volt supply and your CAN comm in as well. And the other thing you can do with these as well is you can purchase the optional Obd connector, which I think is about £35 or something like that, which means you can then connect it into any standard factory OBD2 port, and you can configure all the menus to suit that. So it can be fitted pretty much to any car really. It also comes supplied with a USB comms cable, which just goes in here with micro USB in this end and standard USB on the other end, and there is software available there that you can go in and custom configure everything. So every menu that you see here, you can change it, make it display what you want. You can set it up so that under a certain condition it may change from one menu to another menu. You know, if you go over 2000 RPM, it might go to, say, give you a gear reading instead of an RPM reading or something like that. You know, as I say, fully configurable. You can pretty much do what you want, and to control it in the car, you have just these two little buttons here. It uses an OLED display, which is very clear and vivid. It pretty much beats any sort of gauge, you know, digital gauge display that I've ever seen so far. So they're really good, and the build quality of these are all machined aluminium cases. You know, there's no plastic or anything used in these. It's all proper stuff. It's motorsport, military spec wiring used throughout for all the connections and stuff like that. So it should last the test of time as well, and should stand up to a fair bit of abuse. You can also use it in sort of, what's that, landscape mode, and I suppose portrait mode as well. It can be used up this way for certain menus, which you'll see as we go along. So this display here, just to show you, it's just a simple RPM display, and that's what you start with when we turn it on. So I'll just disconnect the power here so we can see what we start off with. So that's what we have when we first turn it on. We can scroll through all the menus with the bottom button here. So again, shows you RPM and map, and just remember that this one is set up to be used with a Link ECU. So a lot of the sort of parameters in here will be familiar with anybody who has a Link ECU. They're all set up for that type of thing. So some of them you may not get on the OBD2 connections on a factory car, but again, it's all fully configurable anyway. So there we have RPM, map, pressure, and of course there's nothing connected to this other than 12 volts, so everything will be zero at the minute. Engine coolant temperature, inlet air temperature. If you have a wideband lambda feed into your ECU, obviously it will display that, so you have no need for another separate gauge for wideband lambda. Oil temperature, and as I say, you can change all these, what these are here. Again, we go even further again, so I'll bring this a bit closer in case you can't see. Injector duty, pulse width, ECU voltage. You can have gear detection. You even have their inlet cam and exhaust cam, phasing and stuff like that, fuel pump and trigger error and that type of thing for for trigger errors, all your knock counts, which I assume will be individual cylinder knock counts there if that is set up. Again, you have RPM reading, which I assume will be a bar gauge across the top, and your wideband lambda reading here. Again, fully configurable, so you can change these readings to what you want. We have manifold gauge pressure here at the top, which will be in vacuum going right up to 3 bar. And obviously ignition angle here as well. You can keep an eye on things there. Endless lists of parameters that you can select and display whatever way you like. And again, this is where I mentioned earlier about the, you can change this, and you have a gear indication here with an RPM reading at the bottom, which can be handy, and it's a very small display, so it's designed really to be used in conjunction with your main dashboard. You wouldn't use this to completely replace the dashboard. Plex do have other units there, full motorsport dashboard and dash displays that are designed for that purpose, and they're very, very good. So we'll go on. You have a trip here and an odometer, time and that sort of thing, so I assume you can set up timers and that and do trips, and it'll data log and stuff as well, so you can record everything through this this display here, which is handy because it saves you maybe having to go into the ECU every time and download data logs and that sort of thing, when you can see some simple parameters set up on this display here. And that's just the last menu there, and we're back to the start again. And the other nice feature about this is, and what I think is here just behind that, is a light sensor, so it auto dims and auto brightens based on the amount of light that's getting into the car. So it should always stay very clear in the car, and it's very easy to see on a quick glance, but it shouldn't be over, it shouldn't be too bright, so so far as it would distract you or anything from driving. So brilliant little display here. We have a couple of these going out today, so looking forward to getting more of the Plex products in, and the website will be updated probably this coming week. I'll be putting all the products, all the Plex range on the website with prices and everything. So we have, again, here's the brochure, just gives you a quick idea. You have tuning tools, which is a knock monitor. You have the small micro SDM. You have the SDM 300, 500, 700. We have combustion analysis, which can be used for in-cylinder pressure transducing and pressure data logging and stuff, among other things. And again, the Pro Boost controller. Be looking forward to getting a go at the Pro Boost controller. I would always recommend that if somebody has set up an aftermarket ECU, a standalone ECU, that they run a simple Mac solenoid, which is just a small solenoid. I think we have some here. Yeah, just a simple small solenoid, like so, Mac valves, and I stock them in here anyway. So these are excellent for boost control when running through an ECU. So I'll maybe do another video blog just on these. But the reason I mention it is because when you run your boost control through an ECU with one of these, you have a full set of maps within the ECU software that you can use to completely control boost and tune it to how you want to run it, which is better than probably 95% of the electronic sort of standalone boost controllers that you would find on the market. Now this Plex boost controller I'm very interested to see, because this has a lot of functions. Let me see if I can find it here. So we have so yeah, you can have all your different display limits, configure on the fly, all the usual stuff, but one of the main features is that it can adjust your boost level dependent on RPM and that type of thing. And there are a few boost controllers that will do that, but very few. And this one is should be easy to set up. It's should work really well, and any of the Plex stuff as anybody knows about Plex, is always very good and user friendly. So yeah, look forward to that, and you can keep an eye out for that. But in the meantime, you can go on and check out the website. I'll update it this week with all the new Plex products, and of course go on anytime and you can see all the tuning products and ECUs and stuff like that that are offered through Gsport. All prices are on there, and just another note, all the prices on the Gsport website are all inclusive of tax and everything else, so what the price you see is the price you pay. And the website address is www.gsportcars.co.uk. You can go on there, and there's links to the Facebook page and everything else. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I look forward to doing the next one. Bye.